Do you have an unpopular opinion about jewelry? Well, people on the internet do. We're visiting the Reddit forums and we're going to discuss some of these hot takes. They're basically just polarizing opinions about jewelry, various topics. That's what we're doing today. What are your jewelry hot takes? Let's find out what people have to say. All right, here we go with the first one. Don't buy jewelry or anything really to signify anything to anyone but yourself, i.e. you've reached a personal milestone, maybe a particular birthday, or a certain point in your life where you want to treat yourself. If you like the style, cool, but don't buy it just because everyone else has it or because celebs wear it. I'd actually rather have something that's less brand definitive and that I appreciate for the design and quality. Buy what you love, wear what makes your heart leap. Don't worry about what anyone else thinks. Sorry, I'm stumbling a lot. Apparently, it's hard for me to read. I mean, yeah, obviously you shouldn't buy a brand just because it's a brand. I mean, but there's a lot of people out there that like the status of it and it makes them feel special to own something expensive or wear something expensive. It's kind of like, I feel like I've used this before. It's kind of like lingerie. You know, you buy really super fancy lingerie and no one even sees it, but it gives you like a feeling to have it, to know that you're wearing the nice thing, you're wearing the fancy thing. It gives you that boost. So to me, I feel like some jewelry could be that way. Do I personally subscribe to that? No. I don't buy brands just because they're brands. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. Yeah, buy what you love. I agree with that statement. Even if it's a cheap piece of jewelry that like doesn't cost you hardly anything. If you get it out of the bubblegum machine, if it brings you joy, fine by me. All right, this person says, extension chains on necklaces must go. Don't want to see it dangling down at all. And then someone responded below that, the dangly bit looks cheap. No, I don't have one on this necklace. This necklace does not. But I do have adjustable chains on necklaces. I personally don't like them just because I hate the way it like almost always turns around to the front for me. That drives me crazy. But the actual dangle itself, as long as it's in the back, because I mean, even just the hook on any necklace that turns to the front, that drives me crazy. But there's really no way to avoid that. But I don't think it looks cheap that it's adjustable. I mean, sometimes you want a shorter necklace for different necklines. That totally makes sense to me. I don't know what to say about that. I guess these people must own multiple chains in different lengths to combat that situation, but I'm going to have to disagree with that one. All right, here's another one. People treat some jewelry with too much care that they're letting the jewelry own them instead of expressing themselves with it. I wear my finest piece out casually whenever I see fit, regardless of how much it's worth. I can't take it to the grave with me. Might as well enjoy it to the fullest. If I own a piece that doesn't fit me well, I don't hesitate to modify it to my liking, even if the original piece may be worth something. My happiness trumps any price tag. And then someone responded, this, I die a little inside when people say, I'm afraid to wear it, or we keep it in the safe deposit box. Why? Let it out. Let it live. 100% agree with that statement. Jewelry is meant to be worn. If you really don't like it and it's valuable, I get keeping it in your security deposit box or somewhere where you're going to preserve the life of the item. If it's an investment piece, something like that. But if you actually like it, wear the dang thing. Get it insured if it's that special, and then wear it. I do understand that people, have maybe sentimental rings or something like that they don't want to wear. I think people should wear things that make them happy. I pull out some of my like gaudy big gem jewelry. I have this big like Prezio and gold that I'll put on just to like wear around my house sometimes, just because it brings me joy. So if you are afraid to wear it out there, at least wear it in here, in your home, in the comfort of your home. If you do drop it or something like that, it's like in that space somewhere. So, but you should wear it. Oh, jewelry is like, it's meant to be worn. It wants to be worn. So yeah, wear the nice things when the occasion calls for it, or when you're in a space where you feel comfortable wearing it. Totally agree with that. 100%. All right, this next one says, hottest hot take. Cheap jewelry can last longer in some cases than expensive jewelry. Not every time, but a lot of people become obsessed with jewelry you can pass on. I can tell you my titanium earrings and rings are significantly better shape after years of daily wear than the 18 karat gold from my mom from her first father-in-law, who was a Tiffany's jeweler and custom made for her. True. true, but it's not about, I mean, yeah, it can last longer. That's just a statement to me. That's not a hot take. That's just true. Titanium is stronger than 18 karat gold any day of the week. So, yeah, it's probably going to last longer. But to her defense, there are some costume pieces. Actually, I just had a customer who purchased I think it was an Avon bracelet from me. And we were talking about Avon and Monet and how those costume brands hold up over time. They really do stand the test of time more than these gold earrings. I just sold a bunch of scrap earrings. My mom just gave them to me to sell them because she doesn't want to wear them and can't wear them because they're squished. The metal is just really soft. They're not going to hold up. So yeah, 100%. I agree that those things can last longer. But the value is not going to hold as much on a gold piece or on a titanium piece as it will on a gold piece, especially Tiffany's. Tiffany's gold pieces. If you're hanging on to these things for value, choose that every day of the week over the titanium. Okay, just a little tip there. If in any case you are presented with the option. Do you want this titanium random piece or these Tiffany gold, 18 karat gold earrings? Pick the earrings. I can't remember if I did this one on the last video I did of these jewelry hot takes, but I'm going to read it again just in case. Emerald, ruby, and sapphire in the same piece can look really tacky. 1930s Tutti Frutti designs are an exception, but generally not a great combo. I 100% agree. I do not think blue, green, and red go together at all. The only thing they have in common is that they're precious gemstones. So for those of you that don't know, there are 4 precious gemstones officially in the world. Diamonds, ruby, sapphire, and emerald. And so I think it became very popular to put those things together in jewelry. I don't know, every once in a while it looks okay, but personally, I just don't think those colors go well together. And every time I see green and red together, I cannot not think Christmas, you know? So even if the blue's thrown in there, I don't care. It's looking Christmassy. I don't know, I agree. I don't know. And then they have a follow-up here. It says, my own take is cheaper pale tanzanite is prettier than the expensive saturated stones everyone wants. The lavender lilac colors are gorgeous. That is a hot take, isn't it? It's just a matter of opinion which color you like more, but I don't agree. Because I love the deep saturated, like, gemminess of these high-quality tanzanite stones. The pale lavender ones, they just don't do it for me. However, I do agree that in some settings they look a lot nicer. But the deep, like if you have gold, for example, like yellow gold that you're going to set it into, the deep stuff looks better than the pale stuff. But I think the pale stuff looks better in silver or white metals, personally. So I don't know, I could go either way on that. It's really just a matter of what you like more. Just like amethyst. Some people really like the deep, dark, saturated purple amethyst, and some people like the lavender amethyst or the lilac amethyst, the really pale stuff. That's all. There's a whole spectrum of color for everybody. But personally, give me the deep saturated gemmy stuff of pretty much everything. This next one says, vermeil, why? If you're going to get gold plate, get it plated over metal. That won't immediately start tarnishing through. I might have to agree with that. Because you want the base metal of silver. Okay, so for those that don't know, vermeil is gold plated silver. And then you can have like gold plating, which is typically over a jeweler's brass or something like that, where the base metal is also a yellow gold. And so if it starts fading, it will just fade to a yellow color underneath. You don't really notice a difference. Whereas vermeil stuff, I agree. Anything I've ever had that's vermeil, it wears off so fast and that silver shines through so quick. And it also tarnishes, which is problematic because if your gold over silver tarnishes and you go to polish it, the more you keep that stuff polished to keep the tarnish away, that's kind of growing more so on the silver, oxidizing on the silver than it is on the gold. You're still rubbing that polish away every single time. So the life of it is just so short, you might as well just buy silver. And I agree, and gold plated, whatever. And it's gonna be cheaper too, and it's gonna look better longer. So, but you don't have the precious metal underneath, because if you strip the plating off any of those, the silver's worth more. So I guess it depends on what you're after here, but I'm gonna have to agree with that statement. All right, next one says, fake lab opals bear the same resemblance to real opals that fake banana flavor does to real bananas. I love this. It's so true. Oh my gosh. I don't like fake lab. Fake lab. Wow, let me try that again. I don't like lab opal. And I don't really like fake banana flavor either. 100% yes. I'm going to like that comment because I agree with that statement. Lab opals are just so perfect in their arrangement of their crystal structure. And the whole thing that makes natural lab unique is that it doesn't have a crystal structure where it sets up so this perfect grid where you would see these like ordered flakes like you do in lab opal. It's still pretty, don't get me wrong. I like the iridescence of it. I think it's a gorgeous stone in general, but I personally don't like it. I'd rather have the real thing, even if it's just a flake here or there, but color, what do you call it? I can't even think of the word, but you know what I'm talking about. The play of light in the stone here and there. Rather have the real than the fake. Jewelry hot take. Kendra Scott jewelry sucks. It always goes green. I'm done buying from them. Yeah, I only own one pair of Kendra Scott earrings. I've never had a problem with it, so I don't have an opinion on this. I don't think I have enough jewelry from Kendra Scott to have an opinion. I owned one bracelet before and I resold it because I never wore it, and it was fine when I resold it. So I don't know. I'm curious if you guys own Kendra Scott. Leave me a comment down below, like how it holds up over time, because I don't know. Ooh, and someone did respond though. I worked with her and agree. The jewelry is ugly, and I felt she wasn't much better to her staff. Not a happy office to visit. Ooh, some drama right there. Oh my. Well, I've never met Kendra Scott either to have an opinion on her personality, but that's this person on the internet. That's what they say. I hope you're hiding your identity, ma'am, because, all right, this person says stones below 8 or 10 hardness. There's a 9 in there too. They just said 8 or 10. Shouldn't be set in rings, to be honest. I say this as someone with a ton of inexpensive silver rings that have softer stones. I love them too, but it's not a good idea. They get scratched up, especially using soft minerals below 5 or 10. The threshold, like pearls, I guess 5 out of 10. Oh, wow. Okay. My bad. My apologies. Ignore my comment earlier about the 9. Okay. Pearls, amber, coral, malachite, these get worn out fast. 100%, but you know, it's up to the consumer. If they want it in the ring, they want it in the ring. Personally, I have quartz, and quartz is higher on the scale, and, well, I guess it's not an 8 or 10. It's, what, 6.5-ish on the most hardness scale? And I scratch the crap out of it. But I'm not sure if it's just from use, because oftentimes I'll wear rings side by side, so it might have just rubbed up against the metal and it doesn't stand a chance against silver. So, yeah, no, it's up to the consumer. Educate yourself before you buy stones. That's what I should say. It's not a hot take. It's a good point, really, that the hard stuff is better for rings. And you put the softer stuff in something like a pendant would be nice. So, yeah, I agree. To a degree. I agree with educating yourself as a consumer. That's what I said. This person says, my hot take, no piece of jewelry is worth paying retail. The used market is the way to go. That's all I'm going to say about that. Agreed. All right, here's another one. I love the rich saturated yellow of 24 karat gold. It has the presence where it looks bold without trying too hard. I personally don't really like yellow gold in its pure form. I do think it's too yellow. I prefer 14 to 18 karat. It's like dulled down just a little bit. The super bright stuff starts looking fake to me. It's the same way I just don't like giant diamonds because they're not believable, I guess. And I don't know. It just like starts looking fake, and then, I don't know. I don't like that. I just don't like that look. I don't know. Tell me below what you guys think. All right, this person has several. Mine are: I'd rather spend more on solid, well-made silver ring than a mass-produced super light gold ring of the same price, even though I generally prefer gold. I mean, that really depends on the style of the ring and everything, because like gold can look really pretty when it's dainty, and silver is, I don't know, I feel like it handles bulk better, maybe? I don't know, that one's, I feel like you're comparing apples and oranges there, but okay. Number 2, on a same mass-produced note, if you are on a budget or want more bang for your buck, secondhand is where it's at. Bingo! And pawn shops can be an absolute treasure trove. Yes, they can. A lot of people think pawn shops will screw you over, and maybe some of them do. But in my personal experience, they offer less buying, and I feel like that's where you're not getting screwed. I don't want to say you're getting screwed because it's a business model, you know, they got to make money too. But that's where you're getting the short end of the stick, I guess, as a seller. As a buyer, however, a lot of time pawn shops are just like charging the cost of gold plus a percentage. Some pawn shops don't even take the stones into consideration. So you can get like cheap diamond jewelry for like a little bit more than you would pay for the gold prices. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've had great success purchasing from pawn shops. I don't think I've ever sold anything to pawn shops though, because they offer so low. You're better off selling on like eBay or something like that if you want more bang for your buck. All right, number 3, your engagement ring shouldn't send your significant other broke, and a huge, overly ostentatious ring is not suitable for most lifestyles anyway. Agreed. I don't think anybody should go broke buying any piece of jewelry. That's just stupid. That's just not using your thinker. Let's not go broke over a solitary piece of jewelry. You can always update later too. The other thing is, like, when you get married, the odds that you're gonna want this exact same ring design like 10, 20 years down the road, that your taste is not gonna change, is very slim. I think that you should get something more modest that you like, but not that's like the big show off ring. Save that for later when your taste is a little more like refined and defined, because it will change. It just will. We always change our minds on jewelry, right? Are you wearing the same plastic and like hemp necklaces that you wore when you were a kid and teenager? No. Probably not. Number 4, lockets are totally underrated and underappreciated piece of sentimental jewelry, and much classier than the modern mama jewelry with initials on multiple discs, etc., that seem popular over the last few years. Agreed. I love a locket. I have multiple lockets. One of them is empty, and I wear it anyway because I think it's so pretty. That's my goal, is to put pictures in it this year. Okay. I agree. I love a locket. It's personal, and it doesn't like flash everybody's names everywhere. I feel like names can be kind of, I don't want to say tacky, because I've seen it done really, like, I don't know, eloquently nice script. I've seen it done really nice. I just personally am not a fan of words on jewelry, but that's just an opinion. Maybe that's my hot take. I don't like words on jewelry necessarily. The stuff I do have like initials on is like hidden on the back. And I do love a locket, so I might have to agree with this. And then we'll read this last person's number 5, and then we'll call it quits here. Number 5, plain bands are the real MVP of the jewelry world. And not just as wedding rings, they are easy to wear, fun to stack, and can add the perfect final detail to an outfit. I disagree. I don't think there's anything more boring than a plain band ring. Now, that said, I love a band, but with some sort of detailing on it. As an example, this ring. This was my gift to myself last year for wedding anniversary / had a baby / Mother's Day. This gold one. It's like a little etched design, vintage throwback, kind of has a deco feel to it. And I just absolutely love this band, but there's no stones on it whatsoever. It's engraved on the inside with 4 suns, because like actual suns, like little pictures of little suns, because I have 4 boys, 4 sons, play on words, ha ha ha. But it's not like the solid plain band. I don't know. I only own one of those. It was my grandmother's wedding ring that she traded for a pack of cigarettes back in like the 20s or something. So maybe it was later than that. Oh my gosh, I'd have to do some math on that. Maybe it was more like the 40s. And that was what she wore for her wedding band for many, many, many years. Anywho, to each their own. Okay, but I like a little pizzazz on my bands. All right. And that's where I'm going to leave this video. So let me know what you guys think. Do you have your own hot take you want to share in the comments? Please do, if you do. And if you had some opinions on the things I read today, leave those in the comments too. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. If you're not done hanging out, check out the video on your screen, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.